So on the on the traditional accounts, typically who's a match for that, or what are some certain income levels? How does somebody know that that's the route for them to go?
Well, the way I'd like to answer that, Joe, is I'd like to compare the Roth to the traditional. Okay. And the Roth, I usually have, I've been using this for a lot of years, is you pay the tax on the seeds and not on the crops. And what you're bringing up is, when do I have a traditional and when do I have a Roth? As an example, when your kids are 7, 8, 9, 10, 12, whatever, and they can actually do work and you can pay them $6,000, they have an exemption from federal tax up to $12,000 now. So they'll actually pay no tax. So if you're a young kid or even a kid in college, your tax rate is so low, I would definitely tell you to put that money in a Roth. Once you get out of college, you get married, you have some kids, you have a house, you got a lot of deductions, your tax rate is low still, I would think at that point, I suggest people put their money in a Roth, because all that money is generating, everything it generates is tax free. And guess what? Anything you put into it is just like a savings account, and you can take that money out anytime you need it, even if you're not 59 and a half in a Roth IRA. There's no tax, there's no penalty, nothing. So I'm biased towards a Roth IRA, and I'm going to tell you, it's almost always best to do that. Now, that said, the tax accountants are always saying, take the break, take the break, take the break, pay the taxes, at the latest that you can.
Yeah.
Always defer. So if you're somebody, let's say in your 50s, your kids are out of the house, you have your house paid off, you're making a lot of money, now maybe you want to put that in a traditional account so that you can save the taxes now, and it's a significant amount because your deductions are down. Your kids are off your payroll, and you're not paying much interest, and you're making a big salary. So at that point, yeah, maybe that's the time to have a traditional account, especially if you're going to leave your company, drop your salary, and then at that point, I'd say start converting your traditional to a Roth before you need it. Because the other side is, after you die, nobody can convert that to a Roth. So I've even talked to some of our clients about that. Whose tax rate's going to be more when you pass, yours or your kids? If your kids are going to be less than you, then yeah, maybe leave it in the traditional and they can pay the tax on it. But if your kids are now making more money and you're in a better position, pay the tax now, even ask the kids to pay it for you, because ultimately it's going to be their money. So it's just, I can't give you a solid answer for every person. But one of the things that's out there is, in my generation, the baby boomers, a lot of them have kids moving back into them, and a lot of them are taking care of their parents, who don't have big retirement plans and IRAs and 401ks. So the baby boomers are getting hit from both sides, and their main thought process should be, hey, I've got to make sure that I've got enough money, because I don't want to become a burden to my kids going forward. So people have asked me, should I spend my money on my kids' education? I said, no, take a loan on the education. Make sure you've got your retirement taken care of, because you don't want your kids having to do that. You can always work and pay off their student loans.